Whether or not dinosaurs had feathers could be one of the most controversial questions in all of paleontology, but today I will be here to guide you through whether or not they did have feathers and the science behind it. Yes, they had feathers, but most of them didn't, and I'll be telling you about the ones that did, because there's a lot of them that didn't, in the whole collectiveness of dinosaurs. A key example of a dinosaur that had feathers is Velociraptor, but not this. Not this. I'm talking about this, from a modern understanding of paleontology, the feathered one, the one the size of the dog, not a unfeathered Utahraptor. This is what we call a paleo-accurate Velociraptor, because it's accurate to paleontology. Now, how do we know these so-called beasts and animals that are made out to be vicious killers with a thirst for blood had feathers like a chicken? Well, this is because of this little guy, Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx, as you can see in this fossil, has little indents, little prints, that resemble feathers connected to its little wings. At the time, this was a major breakthrough in paleontology. However, it was discovered in 1861. So, at the time, we still thought that T-Rex looked like a tall lizard with a relatively smooth, square-shaped head. Just from this, because only up until now, our knowledge of paleontology, dinosaurs, pterosaurs, plesiosaurs has sharpened so much that we now have prehistoric planet, and all the other knowledge that we have has compiled into this big cesspool of truth. Whereas back then, it was just bones, lizards, ruthless killers. 1993. And also back then, when Archaeopteryx was discovered, it would probably have just looked like a fossilized bird. Which it is. Not like a bird. On the topic of Velociraptor, why? Why were feathers necessary? Why did all dromaeosaurs have feathers and most theropods have feathers? Well, one of the reasons that not all theropods had feathers is because of temperature control. For example, Velociraptor was discovered in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, which is, what a coincidence, really hot. And T-Rex, which I'm pretty sure didn't have feathers, might have had a little bit of hair here and there, but it wasn't covered in feathers. It was discovered in Hell Creek, Montana, which was a very different environment. And also, back then, during the Jurassic and the Cretaceous, the world was 20 degrees warmer. Yeah, 20 degrees Celsius warmer than it is today, and oxygen was either 15% less or 20% more, I believe. So feathers would have helped these animals keep at a reasonable temperature, and the reason T-Rex didn't have feathers is because it would have been a lot colder than it is in the Gobi Desert in Hell Creek, and it's also just so big that it would probably have overheated if it had feathers. But then how does Velociraptor stay cold with feathers? Well, I don't really have an answer to this one, apart from that it might have just stayed in the shade a lot. Obviously drunk a lot of water, whenever possible. But, yeah. What we can do is look at Velociraptor's modern counterparts, aka birds. Birds such as, perhaps, sparrows, chickens, hawks. So birds' feathers do help them against cold temperatures, and very well, in fact. But how does that help them against hot temperatures? I'm really sorry, I don't know. I'm not an actual paleontologist. I don't even think I can be a paleontologist. Yet. So please, just go ask a real paleontologist if you want these questions answered. But also, keep watching. Please. So I have two theories. One, Velociraptor just stayed in the shade and drank a lot of water, like all the time. And second theory. This may be a little outgoing, but how do sparrows keep cold in hot environments? They take baths. And they don't just bathe in water, they take dust baths. So, my theory, which could be completely incorrect, is that Velociraptor, from time to time, would have taken a dust bath, just like a sparrow. Which I also want to remind everyone that I have no evidence backing this up, just to be clear, I have zero evidence backing this up, I could be completely wrong. So in conclusion, yes, certain dinosaurs had feathers, dromaeosaurs and most theropods. Why? Well, Archaeopteryx, it would have helped Archaeopteryx fly, Velociraptor, temperature control, and in both cases, it would have also been not a mating ritual, but a display specifically for mating. As we can see in modern birds, males are far more colourful than females, which can be used in display. That was all the time I had for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and also it would be greatly appreciated if you checked out my main channel, where I focus on gaming, and I sprinkle in a little bit of paleontology here and there, Prehistoric Kingdom. If Jurassic World Evolution 2 wasn't corrupt, then I would be playing that. I hope you learned something. If you didn't, that's probably my fault. I'm sorry about that, that's my bad. I should have called up Elon Musk. Because next time, we're going to be talking about how accurate, if at all, Jurassic Park was. See you there.